What up, family? We are back with another episode of the Pull Up with the Wonders. Myself, G, and a very, very, very special guest we have today. My family, my cousin from Oakland, California, as you see.
Represent.
A beautiful human being inside and out. A very talented human being. I'm so proud of her, what she's done so far, and most importantly, what she is going to do in the future. What's to come? This girl works so hard and does her thing and just sheds her beautiful light on the world. And we want to talk to her today. We want y'all to hear about her. We want y'all to learn about Miss Rolanda Bell, my family, my cousin. Say what's up to the people.
Hey y'all. How you doing? I know I be so weird about people on my name now, but it's like the middle initial has to be said because that's what I signed off for SAG.
Okay,
so I gotta say Rolanda D Bell.
Rolanda D Bell, ladies and gentlemen.
You still had it right though, so that's fine.
Yeah, hey, but that's important. That's important. That's your brand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's your brand. That's what you're spreading into the world. And the world's got some. The world is your audience, and they've seen some of you, but there's so much more to see. Rolanda D Bell.
Rolanda D.
Rolanda D Bell.
Forget
The D.
Yes. So you are here in LA doing your thing. You're from the Bay, and just spread the good word. What you down here for, and let us know a little bit of what you're doing, the groundwork you've already laid out, and where you see yourself. I know LA is the place to be, especially for a young actress like yourself, just to get out there, to be seen, to be exposed, to meet people, to network, the whole nine. So how's it been for you so far?
It's been great. I'm happy. I came out here, for my birthday. It was on Sunday, October 16th.
Happy birthday.
Shout out to the Libras out there.
Oh, goodness.
We out here. But yeah, originally I thought I would be out here for a short film opportunity, and it didn't work out the way, but I was like, I'm going to still stick to my plans and bring in the new year, manifesting actually where I want to be and being in the space, in the place. So that was just like, I just felt good bringing in my birthday at midnight. It was just like people who understand and get what we as storytellers do. And like, I can be goofy, silly, and not feel like, I feel like I've grown so much in the amount of time that I feel like I haven't been doing it that much, but it's like, but
right
now I see so much more, I see myself, one day producing, directing, and writing a little something.
Yes.
Yeah, so whatever God has for me, I know when it's time, I'll be ready. So I'm just staying ready.
You stay ready.
Yeah.
You stay ready.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about, you said something, you said you were supposed to be in the short film, but it didn't fall through. And what I like about your response or your story is just your whole attitude. And I feel like in this industry, you have to have that attitude because you get more rejected than you do accepted.
Yeah.
Right? And so how do you push through? What gives you the strength and guidance just to push through and just and stay positive? I know it can't always be, peaches and cream, but
right.
For this particular moment, you were just able to say, well, you know what, F it, it's my birthday, I'm going to make the most of it, I'm going to manifest what's to come.
Yeah.
So what are like the tools that you use when dealing with, I guess it would be rejection, but not...
Or just a part of the journey. Really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a part of the journey.
I think just my foundation first and foremost, my relationship with God, and knowing that all things will happen, that God knows what we desire, so it's already written, it's already there, it's just what are we going to do? So I just be like, okay, no, all times are not. And I'd be like, no, I'm depressed right now. Like, I don't want to talk to anybody. Like, I feel like it's gone to the point where I'm like, I feel like I don't even want to be here, So it's like, it's those things where I'm like, no, like, people say you have so much more. There's people who want. I'm like, but what do I need? Like, what do I need from me? So I have to take some back and just like, take some time back and really think about what I want and why I want it. And that's what reminds me, like, okay, remember your why. And it's like, God plus your why, it's like purpose, you know? So
Exactly.
it's also just watering those seeds, like gardening,
Yeah,
taking out those weeds that don't need to be there,
for sure.
watering the seeds so they can just flourish and,
Yeah,
you know, and just know that what's for you won't pass you. So it's always going to be something that's for you.
for
So
sure.
yeah, like who knows? I might have came out here and ran into somebody who was like, "Oh, are you an actress or model by any chance?" Of me doing Instacart, like, "Yeah, I am. By the way, what you need?" Like, you know.
Right.
So
You
you know, I
never
just
know.
keep that like mindset, and I feel like that's what I've had since like all my life. Like even in high school, like positivity was the main word that everybody couldn't get with to get this like gift card. She was like, "What's the one word or what's one thing?" She kept saying it through all her speech and stuff, but
Yeah,
that's one thing I was like, I was the only one that raised my hand and was like, stay positive. She was like, come on down here. I got me an AMC theater card. It was like, oh, I was like, y'all didn't listen. Y'all didn't listen. But I think that's the thing that just stayed with me, positive, positive. And being in Erica Campbell's music video, that's positive. Like her song Positive, that's, people are like, you were meant to be in that video. But it's just, it's God. And I just be like, God, just shine your light, translate whatever I need to say to whoever in this room. Here we go. Like, let's go. So,
Love that.
yeah.
yeah. Through your journey, and just through the ups and downs, mentally, emotionally, physically, do you find that your friends and family help lift you up or support you enough, or how important is that to you to have a strong support system from your people?
At first, it was so important. Like, I wanted all my family to show up. Like, when I first got into it, I was like, I'm doing a show. I'm not the lead, but I'm doing a show. Like, I just wanted them to see that I was doing something that was like I loved and just sharing it. And it was hard to get that support. Like, a couple of family members would come through and stuff, but over time I was like, I'm not even going to invite nobody. Like, I'm not posting nothing. Like, it would go from inviting everybody to just posting stuff and like maybe send a text to 2 or 3 people who I knew wanted to see it. And then it was just kind of like, they'll see it when they see it. If they see it, hey, I made a post. And some people feel like, oh, well, I'm not everybody. I'm like, oh, that's fine. But you got to understand how long I've been at it trying to get people. And it's like, I know I'll keep in mind the right people who want to go and show up.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I know that they want to see me do good. I have my cousins who always like, them my brothers and sisters. Like, I'm the only child. So having them, like, my cousins, they be like, how you doing it, cousin? Like, I'm proud. Like, keep doing it. So when I hear them, it's like, I'm the little cousin. And they like, so it's nice having those reminders from cousins. Like, that's probably what really helped me and my mom. Like, sometimes it was hard for getting my grandma to understand it.
Right.
She was like, what you gonna do for money? I was
Right,
like,
right,
well, I
right.
mean,
Yeah.
God will do it. Like, but now I know she knows, and I'm just trying to do what I can so that she can see, like, the things that she deserved and never
For
got
sure.
to see. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's funny you say that, because speaking for me, like me coming up doing shows in the Bay, like you was always at all the shows.
I had to.
Like, for real. You was at all the shows, and for me as an artist, like, that's special. Like, when I see my people, just always there. Y'all, you know what I'm saying, is y'all know the songs, y'all know the set,
Right.
but y'all showing up, y'all looking good. You know what I'm saying? It's like y'all are an extension of me, because
Exactly.
the family is who's setting the energy in the crowd. You know what I'm saying? People come on, they see my family, and they feel my family, and my family is the one who's like setting the energy and smiling to people and saying hi and all of that. And you've always been a part of that family unit. So thank you. Thank you. And I've always tried to be there for you as much as I can too, like coming to all your shows at Laney.
Man,
And
I think about when you came to my graduation. You were at my high school
yeah.
graduation, and I
Yeah.
remember you. I think that was the first time you heard me sing.
Yep.
And you was just cheesing like,
Yeah.
look, is you sing? Okay.
Yeah.
Like, it was like,
Yeah.
I was like, my cousin CBC, like, But yeah, I remember, I
Yeah.
was thinking about that, like, while I was here. Like, that was when I was 17.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
it's important to show up for your people. You got to show up for your folks. Your folks is doing something, show up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You may not You may not. It may not be your thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's their thing. So you support it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you help them. You help them get to where they're trying to get to. So I know you stand strong by that. We stand strong by that. So we're gonna keep supporting each other as family, as fellow artists.
Yes.
And because we want to see everybody win, right?
Yes.
You
yes,
feel me?
That's it.
You feel me?
Because when one of us win,
All of us
we
win.
all winning. Like,
Yes.
what? Like,
There you
trust me,
go.
it's
But
coming back.
everybody don't
It's
get
gonna
that.
boomerang.
Everybody don't get that though.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And that's just life.
So with that being said, so yeah, that's what our dream reality is. Not our reality, but our dream is for everybody to be there and to support and to show up.
Yeah.
But if that doesn't happen, that shouldn't stop you from
Right, no.
continuing to do, right?
Yeah.
Should push you even more just to continue to prove to them, like, this is what I do, this is what you've missed.
Or even not even to prove to them, because some of them just, like you said, not gonna get it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's fine, but that's not gonna take my happiness away from doing what I love. And I think that I've learned that I don't have nothing to prove to people, but myself, like, God, like,
True.
okay, he said you want this, what you gonna do? Like, he's like, okay, God, I want it, like, what I'm gonna do? But I think that's when it clicks, when you realize, like,
Keep going.
I ain't got nothing to prove to these people. I know
I'ma
what
do
I got.
my
and I
thing
know what God-
regardless.
Right.
You
And no
feel
matter
me?
how many grants I applied for and didn't get, that I knew was gonna help me.
Hey.
All right, well, let me go put this fundraiser together and get this money.
Yeah.
But it's really about tapping into your people and just finding ways to all of us still shine, even though you're there trying to do something for yourself. Like, try to be like, oh, well, I'm doing this, but I know you do that, and maybe that could be like a way we work together and
There you go.
we promoting each other.
There you go.
So
There you go.
it's so many ways to support.
It is so many ways. So many different collaborations that could be done between people, all types of people. How old were you when you decided, or have you always dreamt of being an actor when you were a little girl?
That's what's funny, is that I didn't. I always had an appreciation for, I didn't know it was acting, like, oh, this is acting. Like, no, I just was like, they're making me feel something. And it was like, I just appreciated it. And then once Tyler Perry plays came around, I started memorizing stuff, or actually I would memorize our family videos like it was a movie. So I would remember it's like a scene where, oh, this is when the camera went over to Uncle Bobo and he was doing this, and Grandpa was over here doing that. Like, it was as if I was there, and I just felt like it made me be like, man, I wish I was there in those times. Like, that's probably why I just kept watching it, and I think that's where I learned, like, photographic memory, how to remember things like that. And it went to the Tyler Perry, and we had this talent show at our high school, and hey, Emory High. Everybody who went to Emory High.
Yeah.
But it was a talent show that we had, and I was like, no, my friends didn't want to let me sing. I was like, it's okay, y'all. I was like, they didn't want me to sing. I was like, it's fine. I'll do a little poem. And so I did a poem, and then they was like, well, let's do something, because my friend wanted to go, but she was nervous. I was like, well, you know Tyler Perry, right? I was like, let's just go up and do a scene, whatever, it's fine. So we weren't even on the sign up sheet, but we went, and then it was the scene where Tyler Perry was talking about the I just needed to calm down before I went to this funeral, because it was like, well, what you do? Smoke the joint? And then everybody just like, ah. And so I'm like, no, and I don't smoke. I don't know nothing about that, but I knew how to deliver it, and that was the thing that I didn't know I would do. And then some theater club showed up, and I was like, where did this come from? And then it was like one semester. And then after I graduated high school, I was like, I took a year off, worked, and then I was like, what's acting like? And then I went to Laney College. Hey, Laney.
Laney College, Oakland, California. Yes,
See,
yes.
my dad went there too, I found out. And I went there, and the rest is history. I was like, what's that like? I'm going to try that. Then I went from acting, pre-acting, hey, Michael Torres. From that to taking improv. And I was like, oh, this is over. Like, I'm like, I could do whatever. Like, okay. So it taught me how to be quick and how to just like go with the flow and not say no. And it's like, you can't say no. So you have to say, okay, if something's like no, it's like, all right, so maybe we can do that after we do this. Like, so it's ways to diffuse like conflict in a way. So I learned a lot of things just from taking theater, where it helped in life. Like, getting pulled over, you can get help. Like, it can help.
Yeah.
But it's there's certain things that can help, with just acting classes, even though you're not trying to be an actor. But then after that, I was able to go to Scotland in 2011 and perform in the Fringe Festival. And I was like, I can travel and act. They ain't paying us, but they giving us something to make sure we taken care of. So I can do this. Like, oh, it's over. We went back to the States, and I was like, all right, what's the class? What we got to do? Like, we was hype. And it was in 2013 it was when I started taking it more like serious, to like, okay, I got my first check to like come back to the school that I went to be a guest actor. And then it just was, my resume just was building up over throughout the Bay. And I'm like, dang, okay, well, let's see what happens. And then film.
There you
That's
go.
a whole nother chapter.
Yeah. See, well, when you talking about resume, let the people know some of the things you, because whenever I see you on TV, my cousin been on Netflix and the whole nine. Everybody got Netflix.
Yeah.
So
and
after
if
this,
you don't got it, you know somebody who got it.
come on now. After this interview, I need y'all to go to Netflix and look at some of the movies. I said movies that she's in on Netflix. Let them know about some of the projects and some of the actors and actresses you have worked with.
Oh yeah. My first film was actually a coincidence that I went and performed for a general audition for Theater Bay Area. And so they have this thing every other year where you have to get nominated to audition for like a chandelier of like casting directors who come in and see these auditions. And so I went in and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a song and whatever. So I got all these like musical auditions. I was like, why did I sing? Like, I don't know nothing about no musicals. Like, but then I got this email that was saying, we saw you in these auditions for Theater Bay Area, and we want you to come in and audition for this feature film. And I was like, feature film? What? Like, I thought this was all theater. Like, I was like, okay, sure. What do I need to do? Like, what? And so she said, he was like, come in and, do whatever. I came and originally auditioned for the girlfriend of the show is Blind Spotting now. Or Blind Spotting is the film that I'm getting to. But I played originally the character who's the girlfriend of one of the leads. Okay. And then they had me come back in and audition for the role that I got. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, so now what? Like, it was just crazy. So Blind Spotting was my first film that I booked, and then All Day and a Night on Netflix is my second film, where I play opposite of Yaya, another Oakland breed, and he plays my husband. So that was fun.
Superstar.
But so I play opposite of David Diggs. I work with Jasmine Cephas Jones. There's a show that's to the movie Blind Spotting. So season 2 should be coming out soon. And that's exciting, like, in general. And I'm in Erica Campbell's music video, Positive, directed by James Earl. Hey, James. And I did scratch work for Pixar a couple of times, and Buzz Lightyear is that was my first gig when I signed with my agents. Okay. That was the first thing I booked, and I never had voiceover anything. And I went in there, and they was like, "This is your first?" I was like, "Yeah." They was like, "Huh?" I was like, does that mean I get the job? Like, so I'm like, what you mean? So that was a whole world. I was like, wow. I remember when I was in like 7th grade, we got to watch Cars when they were in the process of working it. And I was like, oh, this might be fun to work in here one day. And I ended up booking my first gig with it. So it was another full circle.
Manifestation.
Yeah. And I didn't even know that I was doing it. I was just like, God knew that my little heart was happy in that theater. Like, oh, this is nice. And people, you can't just go in there. Like, people want to go in there so bad. And I didn't realize the, like, privilege that I had just having that moment to auditioning for them and them having me come in not for just one, but another, like 2 different projects. So it's like, okay. And then 2K. I forgot. I keep forgetting about 2K.
2K. Where the gamers at? Where the gamers at?
Y'all play 2K. Y'all see me go to JT Sporting Good, and I'm the clerk for that store.
Yeah, that's so dope to me.
Face.
That's so dope. That's so dope. We all been in video games.
Oh, okay.
We all been in video games.
Which one?
All the Zumba video games.
Right.
All the Zumba video games.
See? Get them. Collectors. And then when you meet us, have us all sign them.
NBA 2K. I know y'all got some kids out there that play 2K. Right. Maybe some of y'all play 2K.
Mm-hmm. With your kids.
With your kids. But that's cool. I remember seeing you in Blind Spotting.
Yeah, we watched
And yeah, and I was like, that's Roro. Rewind it. I rewind all movies.
Yes.
It's bad for me to have a device that has pause and record and rewind because I'm
Not bad for
rewind.
you. It's bad for me.
For the
Yeah,
people watching me.
I'm rewinding it the whole time, and it
Just
was.
without even asking, just rewind. I'm like, what are we
You gotta
doing?
make
What
sure.
are
You
we
gotta make
doing?
sure.
Yeah.
I like to study film. I study scenes and colors and moods and all of that. So I'm
You
like,
know what he likes to do? He likes to study the mistakes. Like, oh, did you see she was wearing a purple hat there and a red hat here? They fucked up on editing, like that.
Continuity is important.
I study film. I study film
You know, you can get paid for that too.
for sure.
Yeah, they
hey.
say if you spot something, you call this number and you can get something.
No way.
I remember that was a thing.
Okay.
Look into that. Look into that. Look at
That may be another lane that I drive down.
They got professional critiquers out there, or critiquers.
Professional critiquers.
Yeah,
I'm good at that.
yeah. Listen,
Nah, but it was cool to see you in the blind spotting and in everything. I've seen you, but in that blind spotting, you were in like a very pivotal scene. Like the scene that you were in, that house party was like pivotal to David and Raphael.
yeah,
Raphael's relationship.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like you being in a pivotal scene, that's just gonna like pivot you into the stratosphere where you're trying to get to. You feel me? That's how I look at it, at least. That's how I look at it.
Man, I receive it. Yes.
I got another question for you. Speaking of actors and actresses, which actors and actresses do you draw your inspiration from? I know there's, you got your comedic performers and your drama performers, and there's so many different types of movies. But who do you draw from?
I have a really deep appreciation for Jamie Foxx. Like
Fox, huh?
he is people. I feel like I don't understand why he doesn't have. It's a whole nother thing. I don't want to get into that, but it's like Jamie Foxx. I went back and watched the Fox show.
Okay.
And I was like, something hit me different, and maybe it's because I'm more into it. But
Right.
I'm like, this man is talented.
Yes.
This man sings. He can dance if he want to. Acts, play like his impersonations, just his full embodiment of these characters that he's played.
Yeah.
It's like, man. So that was just the show, and so it just made sense that his career is where it is now. Like
Yeah.
the longevity of it.
Yeah.
It's like instantly. I would say Jamie Foxx instantly, and I think it's something. It's something about. I love Danielle Brooks. She played the role, one of my dream roles to play. She played Sophia on Broadway, and she played Mahalia Jackson, or she's playing. I think it came out recently, but she was in Orange Is the New Black.
Okay.
And she played Tasty in Orange Is the New Black. And so yeah, so if y'all haven't seen it, I would say watch it. I mean, not just for her, but it's a good show. But yeah, those two, respect to everybody before, and I just feel like something about those two make me feel like connected, because Danielle's chocolate, she's plus size, she's like curly hair, like
Right.
pinky hair, and Jamie, he reminds me, like I would want him to portray my father in something I would write,
Yeah.
like I feel like the way he studies his characters that he played, from Ray to the soloist to even just what is it? Dream Girls. Like
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. When somebody can make you feel things and all the different things, like his range is just so, it's commendable, and I respect that man. Like, well, one day, Jamie Foxx, if you see this, I will see you at work, sir. Because man, I respect him so much, and I think the range of like from drama like to comedy, I think is fitting. Same for Danielle. I'll see you at work too, girl.
I gotta get into Danielle's stuff. I gotta get into her, but most of us are privy to Fox and his talents and everything that he is and everything that he's given. The acting world, the comedy world, the music world. He's a triple threat. He's a quadruple threat.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool. Fox. Not many people show him or give him his flowers.
That's why I was like, I didn't want to get into it, but I was like, that's why I was like, when Vinny had access to between, I think it was like no shade. It was like between Will Smith and Denzel, and I was like, I will go with Will Smith because the range of the different like characters I see versus Denzel, we know what we're gonna get, and I mean, even with Will, we know this man gonna scream, like he gonna scream at something, like, but that's it. But I feel like it's just something that I feel more the more stuff that I watch with Will versus Denzel, and I think that with Jamie, I'm like. I would have said Jamie Foxx if that was like. I should have said Jamie Foxx. Like it's not an option, Jamie. Like, but yeah.
Because I don't think either Will or Denzel could have been Django.
No.
Right.
No.
Like
but
he
apparently
bodied.
Will trying to see. I guess he gonna have a new movie out that's something like that. I guess. I don't know.
Really?
Can't nobody beat Django.
But I was like, okay,
Django
Will.
was like the black superhero. He bodied that role, that movie.
Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie is on another level.
It's
on another level.
I know it's some stuff I still probably haven't seen that I would be like, why? Shame on me for not knowing that this man was in this or Will, you know. But like, that man, he's
For sure.
dope. He's dope.
He is. Let's keep him coming, baby. What you got?
Let's see. Do you ever, because I know that whether you're watching or whether it's just us, I mean, life is life, right? So do you ever doubt yourself in this journey that you are on? And if you do, how do you undoubt yourself? How do you keep it pushing?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of like when we had the conversation about when I feel like people are like, oh, you doing it, like you doing good, like I'm proud of you, you inspiring us, and I just be like, I don't feel like I'm doing enough though. Like I'm just like, what do I need to do to feel like I'm doing enough? And I guess because I'm just not really holding on to it, learning how to okay, that's done, let me move on to the next thing.
Right.
I think that's why I'm just so, I get like, oh, okay, it's looking a little dry in these emails. What's happening? Like, I'm like, I don't know. Like, what do I need to do? And that's when I'll like see what's happening in a local audition or something. Like, I need something things are still kind of weird, but they're open enough to where we have rehearsals, we have schedules coming back in. Like, the doors of the theater are back open. So that's what I feel like. I'll be like, okay, well, time to shift gears. Yeah. Let me make sure I can still align myself and make sure I'm keeping my iron sharp and try to go and find a small gig doing background work and connecting with people on set or something where I know I can still be in touch with the craft, And I think it's times where I'm like, okay, what if I feel like I'm not doing enough? Well, maybe I need to learn a monologue or something, So I think those moments of just feeling like what am I doing? Like I'm feeling stuck.
You're doubting yourself.
Yeah.
Right. So you said shift gears. I think that's super. That is motivating because I know that if I find myself doubting a situation, that's a good tool. Like, okay, well, screw it. Let's just not dwell on this and let's shift it, but still stay true to the craft or whatever the situation is. I think all of us can apply that to our lives.
That's like going back to gardening too. That whole thing about
that also
watering the seeds and
cutting
taking out the weeds
cutting the dead ends.
Get that, nurture the seeds. Okay, you can't just stay focused on that one thing. Oh, look, a little sprout. Let me wait. Like, leave that alone and go over here and focus on these collard greens that's ready. Like, So it's like, I think that kind of thing too. So it's like just not keeping yourself so busy that you don't take care of yourself, but busy enough to understand like, okay, if I'm not doing this, am I okay here? Am I okay here? My spirit, like, it's always something that could be worked on, Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Now, when you get a role, you book the job, you got the email, you're feeling good, you get your script, you get your role. What goes into your preparation process? What types of methods and techniques do you take into building that character and making that character painting that character,
bringing it to life.
Thank you, baby. Bringing that character to life.
I was like, We
And
painted.
you said what?
I was like, we painted. We gonna figure it out.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
was like,
yeah. Yeah. What techniques and methods do you take into creating that character?
I love to dissect a character. Like, outside of reading the script, I go over my punctuation. Like, I
Okay.
circle all the punctuation that I'm saying. Like, if I have a lot of like ellipses where it's like dot dot dot, or if I have no punctuation at all, then I'm just like, well, if I went there yesterday, I would have done it. That means that I'm rambling and there's
Yeah,
no time
yeah.
for breath.
Right,
Like,
right.
I look at how that is, because that helps me understand how a character would think. Like, okay, well, and I learned that from Lainey. Like, that's one thing that stuck with me. Like, circling punctuation that helps learn how your character's breathing, or how if your character's breathing, and then going into like, all right, well, as I'm doing that, and I look at a page long enough to where I can close my eyes and see it. So it's like photographic memory almost, where it's like, okay, if I'm looking at it long enough and I know my punctuation is where I said this, and it's like, okay, listen, comma. And so it's like, that
Yeah.
helps me remember what I'm saying, and then the rhythm comes with it. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, now it's in my body. Like, it's like a spirit. Like, almost like,
Yeah.
now I get to like, how would I walk? Like, what does this character eat? Do like, things like that. All the stuff that I learned in theater, I keep it. It's like the book. Like, it's like, okay, here we go. This is the book, and this is my new script. Let me match this with what I did here. And it's like math,
for
but
sure.
it's like your own math.
For
Like,
sure. For sure.
it's calculus. I would not deal with that. But
Yeah.
dissecting a character and then learning enough about the script, and then I find more about the story once I'm actually doing it, and that's with theater. But for film, it's a little different because you don't really have as much rehearse time. Like, it's the day of, you shoot. All right, we're gonna bring him in for rehearsal. Like, oh, it's our first time meeting as well. Hi, okay.
Right, trying to create that
What's
chemistry.
Like, but I'm grateful. Like, it's like, okay, I know what that means, and not all of them do have rehearsals. Because I think the first time, I think with Blind Spotting, they were on a time, so they had to get it submitted, edited, and all that in time. So I don't think they had time for a rehearsal. They were like, we just keep taking, takes. We have takes. Okay. So I went in with, and just was like, okay, well, here we go. Hopefully I don't mess up. But it worked out. And
How long did you shoot that for?
I was supposed to shoot for one day, but then Rafa had got injured, and so they called us back for 2 more days to like split it. So it was like a whole thing. They had to get him, like, he forgot we were even shooting a movie for a second. Like, he had to go through a lot. And I think they shot that in 3 months. It was over the summer, I think, when they shot it, because they submitted it to Sundance. Yeah. And that's when I went to Sundance for the first time. So that was crazy.
Yeah, I bet.
I was like, wow, look at all these people in the snow.
Yeah.
They was serious in that snow.
Sundance is like one of the top film festivals in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got Sundance, you got Cannes. There's a handful of other ones, but
South
Sundance,
by Southwest, right?
South by Southwest. But Sundance is like
they
up
went
there.
to all of them. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You said rhythm, and I that word stuck with me because it's just cool to see how the art of acting is like a dance, right? It's just choreographed words and movement and chemistry.
Right.
Knowing when to be on your mark versus when you walk to the left and stop here, or sit down and take a drink, or you're making food. When do you eat? A
lot of wordplay.
Yeah, the wordplay.
I think you guys do wordplay too. That's what dance too. Wordplay, like you eating is like, okay.
Yeah, for
like,
sure, for sure.
Yeah.
It's like so. It's cool to like recognize that rhythm is a part of pretty much every art form. You know what I'm saying? Not just dance, but acting,
right?
Painting, and just so many different forms of art form. It's the rhythm. It's even a part of sports. If you have no rhythm, then you're off.
Right.
You catch that rhythm, you may hit 50 that night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
right.
saying? So it was cool to hear you say rhythm, because I know we can definitely relate to rhythm, and the people watching this can relate to rhythm. And just how rhythm is just like the catalyst to everything that we do. Yeah. So that's.
I mean, even when we walking.
Even when we walking.
You don't walk like this. You walk like this. Like, So.
Yeah.
That's that's dope. I love that. that like highlight of the art
For
as
sure.
an artist. Like
For sure.
everybody has a rhythm in what they do.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have no rhythm, you have no scene.
No soul.
You have no dance.
You are
You have no choreography. You have no routine.
So
you have
everybody is born with rhythm inside
Yeah.
of them, but it's those some people need more help to find their rhythm than
Amen.
others. It's so
Amen.
true. No,
Yeah.
it is true.
Amen.
You know, everybody has that rhythm inside of them, but
Yeah.
we just need to help them bring it out.
And
or
some
help
they
ourselves
don't
bring it
care.
out.
They'll just do what they doing anyway.
right.
And that's the freedom of it. Like that's their rhythm.
Yeah,
That's their rhythm.
for sure. So I mean, the rhythm isn't always in the feet and the hands. Sometimes the rhythm is in the fingers. Is how you type a paper. Is how you do. It's how you're. Yeah. For sure.
But the heart is the main rhythm though at the end
Yeah.
of it too.
The
Like it
There
goes
you
fast,
go.
it goes slow.
There
It's
you
just
go.
like as long as it's going, Lord.
As long as it's
As long
going.
as it's going.
As long as it's going, and we all have it. So I don't
Yeah.
want to hear nobody out there talking about I have no rhythm. I have two left feet. You got rhythm somewhere.
Well, move them to the left and
In
keep
there.
bopping and bop.
Find-
Okay.
Find the rhythm. If you go home with anything in this episode, it's find your rhythm.
We're gonna get that. We're gonna get that on the T-shirt. And they
Find
will be on
your
sale, right, with G2G.
Which
Yeah.
is-
It's funny because everybody calls it G2G. It's
to
G
go.
to go, but
No, that's the first time I said it though. So I got excited and I was like,
listen,
Look.
I was gonna hire her for a commercial, but
that was a tester. That was a test. We'll hear it back and you'll let me know.
What you got, baby?
I just wanted to comment on your question was how does she prepare? Well, this morning when I saw her, she had received an email, her favorite thing to do. Received that email and she had an audition. And so immediately I just saw how she was so passionate about what she does because she didn't waste any time in between her having that script in her hand of us printing it out to her trying to figure out what she was going to wear for her audition. And so she is that much invested in it, like wholeheartedly. And it comes from like a genuine place of passion, which I think that in itself is just going to keep you soaring through everything because I saw it. I was like, oh, she is serious. We are going to get this character right. And I just think that is just amazing. It was so fascinating for me to see just the little, just literally telling me about the email, asking me to print out the script, talking about the outfits, then telling me that she was going to research by watching a music video in which this show is being spun off of. Then us reminiscing about that, just
Yeah.
a whole bunch of stuff just goes into her thought process in preparation to, deliver this character to the best of her ability for this audition. And that is dope. So good. So good.
That is dope.
That is, I like to cuss, but I'm not going to. I think I already threw out an F-bomb
I felt
earlier, but
it.
that's
It's
freaking
okay.
amazing.
Thank you.
Freaking awesome.
Thank
Now,
you.
for those who may know or may not know, acting is a very complex art form, right?
Yes.
How complex is it in your words? I mean, we're talking about preparation. We're talking about methods and techniques and this and that. You know what I'm saying? When did you figure out, or when did you discover how complex acting is? How there's so many different facets to acting.
Yeah.
It's like you can never be satisfied with, okay, I'm gonna go with this, because as soon as you do it and you see it on film, you're like, oh man, I
coulda
should
said
have,
that right. Yeah.
man, I should have
Yeah.
did this or did that, or like it's so complex. Like, how do you maneuver that complexity?
I think it makes me automatically have an appreciation for doing stage because you do it over and over every night, and
Right.
you can always do something different
Right.
than the night before. Like, how can I go deeper in that moment or do this a little different, but still stay in pocket of what the story is? But I think that was just when I'm like, okay, thank God I still do theater because that helps me know how to play better.
Yeah.
When it comes to like, oh, you got this, all these different edits, like how you have takes with film, it's like doing shows every night with theater. So it's like, okay, they'll choose which one they want and which one, so sometimes it's like, I had a better take than that. Why didn't you use that one? Like, like, and so it's like, okay, well, that's what the director wanted. I guess I delivered what he wanted or what they wanted. And I think with the complexity, like, it's crazy when it comes to the different types. Like you said, there's so many different ways, like technique wise, but then when it comes to like voiceover and then film, and then I haven't done television yet, but it's coming. Praise the Lord.
Yes, it is.
But even with voiceover, like that opened my eyes. Like, oh my God, there's so many ways to acting. Like even background stuff. Those background people for like Game of Thrones and all the Marvel movies, when they like they make that scene, and it's like that's the kind of appreciation for the craft, when I really be like, it's so many things you can do to bring things to life. And it's like, what do you want to do? And you don't have to do just one thing, but it's just like watering every part of it. Like, you have to level up in every way. You're always going to be able to level up. Yeah. And when you level up, the price go up.
When you level up, the price go up. There you go.
So it's,
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
When you level up, the price go up.
We gonna get these T-shirts, man. Y'all listen, look.
Continuing education.
We got about 4 T-shirts ready right now.
And some G2G.
And some G2G. So you mentioned film and theater and TV. In your opinion, what do you like the best, film or theater?
I mean, I have to say theater, because that's how I learned everything.
Your first love.
Yeah, like that's where I learned everything. Theater taught me how to be okay with ugly crying, or just like, no, don't cover your face. Let them see that snot come out your nose. Like, those moments where it's raw. It's like, you can't, it's like, oh my God, I feel you more than on screen. Like, I had a cousin who saw me for the first time in my first musical when I played the mom, and it was like an emotional moment. And she was like, I couldn't believe this was the first time I saw you on stage. Hi, Moochie. And it was like, she was like, I'm like, what? I was like, yeah, cousin, well, the first of many now. Like, so I have to keep doing theater, because it's just, it helps you know how to navigate through emotion, I feel like. And or how to, it's like controlled chaos, how they have like, okay, how to keep it here when it needs to be here. And you don't have to yell to get your point across. It's like, it's like, no, give me my pen. Like, it's like, it's an instant, like, I learned that also from David E. Talbert. I took a workshop with David E. Talbert in Houston or Dallas in 2016. And that was a lot of confirmation, but he also helped me see things in a different way when it comes to like delivery, or just the power in being still and grounded, So I think that's powerful. Like the power of stillness, that praying mantis. The power of stillness. The power of stillness. It's dope. I like that. I like it.
She's like talking, and acting is complex. I mean, it's not that, a lot of people just think, oh, okay, you just throw yourself into an audition, you land the job, and then you do the work. But there's a lot of education behind it, and I mean, continuing education that you do. Workshops. She went to an improv workshop. Like, she was like, okay, I'm going to pop over here and, just continue to get better at whatever I do. There's like, it's a constant thing. Yeah. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. And it's really, it's like, okay, you want this. I want to pay respect to it. I don't want to just do it because I know my why, but I feel like, there are some people I feel like I need to be like on game about, or know more knowledge on, like how they paved the way for this. But at the end of the day, they did it because they loved it, and that's why I'm doing it. Like, so, I mean, I can hear Denzel talk about, I can watch all kind of clips about how he has all these motivational words and moments and for these young people who are trying to do it, or whatever dreams they have. And I just like, that's one thing I want to hang out with Denzel, is to just pour into me, please. Yeah. Like, just a little bit. I just need one drop. Like, sure. But like, I just think it's it's just I just appreciate what the power is behind it, like being able to heal people through storytelling.
Yeah.
Like it can be in the form of dance, it could be in the form of a song. Like there's so many ways, but it's still you're telling a story regardless. And I think it's beautiful. I know what it did for me, so I'm like, I want to be able to make people like I'm inspired. Like I want to do this.
Yeah.
But then you got to be prepared for all that come with that. Like it's like Lord, give me the strength, because this stuff I still don't know, and people come to me or ask me questions, and I'm like, all right, God, I pray for this. This is what comes with it, you know. So I get myself together, and I help in any way I can. But I'm like, most of it is just take classes.
Sure.
It's all you gotta do is take classes, and the rest, it'll come. So, yeah.
It's so awesome because it's like the art of acting, the art of dancing, the art of singing,
Yeah.
right? Each one of these art forms connects with people and helps people through a story, through making them physically feel good, mentally feel good, through listening to another story, through music. And like all of these art forms have so much in common, but they're each individual, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing, I think, is just continuing to do what you do, because you know that you are, back to what you said at the beginning, spreading love through your art form.
Yeah.
And I think that is the most important and the most key thing about what each one of us does,
Yeah.
is that we do what we do because we love it. We have a passion for it, but it's also that we are spreading love and positivity and trying to make a change or trying to help people connect or relate, all of those good things. So we are on the right track, kids.
Yeah. But I also tell you how bomb it would be to have all three together in one.
Ooh, I just want to take an acting class from you. So maybe you should start teaching that.
Now I've been thinking about doing maybe I shouldn't say it out loud. I'll say it off camera. Well, stay tuned about all the things to come. But yeah, I'm so happy.
I think the best thing we can do with our art is always pay it forward.
Yeah.
Always pay it forward. Whatever that means or whatever that is at that moment. So whether we're teaching somebody, right, or whether we're just doing our art and we know that it's going to inspire somebody, no matter if there's one person in the crowd or 10 people or 20 people or 200 people or 2,000 people. Like, we just always got to put our best foot forward and do our thing because it's inspiring somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody's watching us and like, I want to do that. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Where do I start? When do I start? You know what I'm saying? And that's what we want. We're paying
That
it forward.
spark, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're paying it forward. And that's as long as we keep that also in the forefront of our why, part of our why, then we're doing God's work. We're fulfilling our destiny and our purpose, what we're here on this earth to do. And it should help us get through those dark times and remember our purpose and continue to keep the train going.
Yeah.
No matter what we're doing, you know what I'm saying? No matter if you're acting or if you're producing, directing, singing, whatever art form it is, it should just help you continue to keep on keeping on.
Right. And I hope it's not a closeout for people to think, oh, it's for artists. Like, everybody is an artist. Like, whether if you're a lawyer, if you're a doctor, if you're a dent, like, that's your craft.
Yes.
And it's like all this still applies. Like, if you in the middle of a surgery and a song is like what keeps you calm, what make that heart still beat, like, like
Yes.
it's that everybody has their own rhythm.
Yes.
It's your rhythm, it's your art, it's your craft.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, feed it.
Yeah. There's a technique to everything, and as long as we always gotta remember our foundation, right? And never stop being a student. I love hearing you talk about taking classes and being a part of workshops and just soaking in as much game and as much teaching as you possibly can, because we do a disservice to ourselves when we stop learning, when we just are so tied up in the performing part of it, right? but we always got to continue to learn. So either we're watching a movie and we're like learning, we're just kind of picking up on the techniques of a scene or of a particular actor. If we're listening to a song, we're listening to the songwriting, lyrics, or whatever. Like, we always got to be that student.
Yeah.
Always got to be that student. So it's cool to hear you talk about, no matter what, no matter if you're working or not, like, you're always a student. You're always down to be a student. You always want to be a student. You always want to get better. And like you said, level up.
Right.
You feel me? And that's key.
Yeah.
That's key.
And I'm sorry, I feel
No,
like, but I feel like with that, like the students, like I feel like that's also saying that you have to be in the moment at all times. And I think that's when you're in the moment, life is your teacher.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
that because you can go outside and just like sit and just be like, I'm gonna just sit.
Yeah.
And you're in the moment, like you hear different. You can close your eyes and just like smell something. Like it's something like you tap into inside out, and it's like being in the moment is one of the things that I think you really learn a lot the most, and that's like being in the moment of on stage or in a show, or even if I'm doing backstage or background work. I'm like looking over there, like, okay, they doing that with that. What's that camera? All right, what's the name of that? Okay, that's the boom lady. Got you. Like, it's almost like playing chess. Like,
For sure.
It's powerful. It's like you gotta just tap in.
Tap in,
it's
baby.
being in the moment. That's real.
Tap in, be in the moment. Tap in, be in the moment. What else? We got about 10.
Find your rhythm.
Find your rhythm.
If you feel like that you don't have a craft or you don't have an art form, you do. You just have to allow yourself to find it and to bring it out.
Yeah.
Worse.
You might have more than just one.
Right.
You might have several.
Overwhelmed in the best ways. In the best ways.
Spoken.
You got options.
Spoken from the queen. Spoken from the queen. Now, in your most positive outcome, what does the future look like for Rolanda D? D. Bell. Take a sip on it. Let's take a sip on it.
I was like,
This ain't drink cups.
This ain't Drink Champs. No, it's not.
I see myself not just, telling stories, but helping people find ways to tell theirs.
There you go.
I think that's probably the best way that I would say, like, I don't want it. I want longevity. Lord God, let me have that longevity enough to invest in all the things that I can dream past or even can't even imagine, like to help my people who have gone through similar things as I have, or things I couldn't even say, you got it. Like, I still want to be able to make sure that they feel seen, like, because I know what it's like to feel unseen, or feel like I'm maybe not enough in a certain moment to a certain extent of like, well, maybe I'm just too tall, so they keep casting me as the mama. Like, right. I want to be able to break barriers of being put in a box. Like, I'm not trying to be no Lizzo out here. Like, I'm trying to really help people understand that it doesn't matter what your shell looks like. Like, right. It's honestly what you have to offer and knowing what you have to offer. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like that's beyond. Like, I look up to Issa Rae because she's one person I've been wanting to get on Insecure for as long as I can remember. When I first saw it, like, I gotta get on this show.
Right.
Like, man, but when I found out last season, I was like, didn't make it. But I could have been a Stanford background. I didn't know about it. But it was just like, even that, like, knowing that she may have seen my work somewhere. Yeah. She probably saw Blind Spotting. She probably saw, those kind of things. I'm like, I'm going to just make sure I stay ready and just have my material, things that I want to work on, and telling my story. Like, I I just want to work and be happy doing what I love, like
For sure.
but also being able to provide opportunities for people who want to do it too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Any last things you wanna add, baby?
No, I don't think so. You know me, I'm a woman of no words.
Gina makes me hold her mic.
Yes, please. A little closer, please. Thank you. And I just want to say it has been such a blessing to have her here with us. We don't get to spend, when we're in the Bay, we are pulled in 85 different directions,
Right,
and they are very hard pulls.
I gotta be quick, like, oh, I got y'all.
Right. And so this has been so good. We thank you so much for joining us,
Thank you for
and
having
you
me.
hope you guys enjoyed her story. And I mean, look out for more, right?
Yes.
Look her up. What is your Instagram handle?
At Rolanda Dene, that's ROLANDADENE. That's what that D stands for.
DENE. Rolanda Dene.
Yes, and it's the same on all platforms.
Rolanda Dene, Gina Renee.
Yes, we cute.
So cute.
Yes.
So cute. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Baby. I know you want to wrap it up with a 7-minute speech at the end.
Oh my God, here you go.
Plug. That's the plug.
Nah, I want to.
G2 go.
There you go.
I want to leave the floor open to Rolanda D to leave the people with whatever lasting impression you want to leave them with.
Okay. I think I just want everybody to remember that we are human. We make mistakes, and it's easier to, I don't want to say forget just so you can move on, but it's better to just like forgive yourself first for being in a place that gives us hard stuff all the time. It's like some stuff is happening around us is making us stress out. So just all I can say is breathe. Please breathe. Even when you're like, you can't find your words, that means your oxygen is low up here. That's another thing I learned in theater. Like, we call it a brain fart, where we forget our lines. And it's like, and it's like, breathe. We stop. Okay. Then the line. And
There you go.
that's the reminder. Like, that's one thing I kept with me. It was one thing I want y'all to remember, is to breathe. Like, yeah, life is short, all this stuff, but it's just easier to like not let stuff get to you and breathe it through.
Yeah.
Breathe it through.
Breathe it through.
That's what's most important to me right now. People keeping their sanity.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And after all of y'all finish breathing, y'all go pick up your remote control and
yourself onto the couch.
pick it up, point it to the TV. Go ahead and find that Netflix. Or if you have Showtime, I know Blind Spotting, the movie, comes on Showtime a lot.
Stars.
Stars.
It's good.
There you go.
It's Showtime on Stars.
Showtime. There you go.
That's why you got confused.
Yeah.
It's
And check out my cousin.
Stop
check
saying Mike. She's my cousin.
check out our cousin.
So annoying.
both the movie and the show. Should
Yeah,
be on
both.
Stars too.
Yeah. Check out what's the one with Yaya?
All Day and a Night.
All Day and a Night.
and a Night.
And a Night.
On Netflix.
Yeah, that's with Yaya and Ashton. What's his last?
Sanders.
Ashton
Jeffrey
Sanders.
Wright.
Jeffrey Wright.
We got Jalen. He's on All American now.
Okay.
And he's in the new Emmett Till movie. He
Okay.
was play Emmett.
Okay.
He was in All Day and a Night. He was the younger version of Ashton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's some folks we got on.
You said Jeffrey Wright. I mean, that's a
Legend.
heavyweight right there.
Yeah,
Legend.
We broke bread together. Jeffrey.
Legend with a capital D. Yes, y'all go check out Rolanda and her work, what she's done so far, and be on the lookout. Be on the lookout. She's family. She's family. She's my family. She's Gina's family. She's your family.
That's right.
So we appreciate y'all. Thank you, cousin, for coming through and just speaking your truth. Speaking the truth and speaking your truth.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
You got a little bit in there.
Cheers,
Right.
cheers, cheers. We hope y'all appreciated this episode of the Pull Up. We'll see you in the next one. We'll see who else pulls up.
Hey.
All right, y'all.
CA from the Bay.
Hey, yeah. I'm just doing my thing, Ain't worry about none but worry about none. The hustle ain't never change, cause the game ain't played for free. Hey, I'm just doing my thing, looking out for